This is an interesting little saga I want to break down for you. On the PBD podcast, that's Patrick David's show, you had two of the co-hosts, I guess it is, Vinny, who on your screen is on the right, and Adam, who's on the left. But they're both on the right politically, okay? So they're both MAGA. Maybe Adam would sort of dispute that I'm a centrist, but I'll never say MAGA things. So they're both MAGA. And they got into it. And I think their broship, their friendship, is imploding before our very eyes. Maybe not really. But here is some tension that erupted over whether or not, and you're not even going to know this was a discussion, I didn't know until I saw this, Trump should even show up for his own inauguration. Why? Would that even be a debate on a right-wing podcast? Well, because as you're going to hear Vinny argue, the deep state wants him bye-bye, and they would do it at the inauguration, so he shouldn't show up. Okay, crazy. But Adam is taking yes, the deep state wants to do that, but Trump should still show up because, as Adam will put it in a clip a little bit later, Trump has, quote unquote, the biggest balls in the world. Strange thing to say, I gotta be honest. But we'll go through this. Trouble in MAGA paradise. While you watch, please do click the subscribe button.
Just crossing your border and trying to blow things up, that is every single
But wait, are they letting thousands of people? No, you can't shush me. You can't say that and say they're just letting people in. Israel doesn't have an open border policy. You cannot. You can't. You cannot say that this is Israel. Israel has a dope border that they don't let nobody come in. We let them in on purpose.
Take down the caffeine.
No, I don't take caffeine. You can't compare the two. Well, this is not.
I have never seen in my life a vein. Full screen that for me, Jaden. So close to combusting, to popping, to rupturing on someone's forehead as Vinny's is about to right now. Oh my gosh.
An Israel thing, Adam. We have an open border on purpose because the deep state wants to kill our president. Is that the problem?
Let me see what point he's making.
No, Vinny, go. It's all
I actually want to know where you're going. Let's see where you're going.
The point is
this is a regular day in Israel. Continue.
Yeah, this is a regular freaking day in Israel, Vinny. Every day.
I'm not even exact understanding the connection they're making there. I guess that I don't know, that if Israel has it deals with terrorists, then we can with the inauguration. I don't know, kind of a strange connection. But you have Vinny saying that we have an open border. We don't, because the deep state wants Trump dead. That is a really, really extremely long play. Okay, let's open the border. We're going to get a bunch of people. And then maybe one of them, even though undocumented immigrants just so happen to commit crimes at lower rates than people born here, one of them will take Trump out. Wow, the deep state is really dumb.
Day the Mossad wakes up or the IDF wakes up and says, we have 1,000 terrorists, if not more, that are trying to kill all our people. So we're getting a little glimpse of what they deal with, not just in Israel, in any normal civilized country that is dealing with terrorists. By the way, do you know who gets killed by terrorists more than anybody? Muslims. So this isn't a Jewish thing, an American thing, or a Christian thing. This is a barbaric thing that reasonable countries, democratic countries, free countries have to deal with. The difference is we have two massive defense mechanisms called the Pacific and the Atlantic Ocean that prevent this kind of stuff. But the open borders here in America, yep, it is a massive problem. So all I'm saying, before you so kindly interrupted, was this is a major concern. And why do you think that the Mossad and the CIA work so closely together for one word, intelligence? National security. Hey guys, this.
Yeah. So again, maybe it's because we're missing context, but I'm missing some of the point he's making. But let's get back to the inauguration part, because that I'm interested in diving into.
This going back to Trump, So if I'm Trump, I'm thinking, Vinny said that he doesn't think that he should show up to inauguration. Totally disagree. What kind of show of weakness would it be not to show up to your inauguration? I think Trump has the biggest balls in politics. I think he has the greatest comeback.
Till he gets murdered.
So, Vinny, have some balls. Relax.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
that's a dumbass
point of view.
Vinny, for the last time, let me talk, and then you can go and rant. I think Trump is going to show up to inauguration because that's what he does. They told him, hey, don't go play golf because you might get shot. Did he go play golf? You bet you did. They said, hey, listen, next time you go give a speech, be in that enclosed glass.
So I don't even know who I'm supposed to side with here. I guess Adam's saying Trump should go to the inauguration. I agree with that. Vinny's saying a bunch of crazy stuff, so I disagree with everything he's saying. But then Adam's also agreeing to some of the premises and saying whack stuff about Trump's balls. But I will say about Adam, he speaks like every word that he's saying is the most profound word that's ever been spoken. And he's just like, I'm nailing it. Let's keep watching.
They told him, hey, don't go play golf because you might get shot. Did he go play golf? You bet you did. They said, hey, listen, next time you go give a speech, be in that enclosed glass that we recommend that you do. And what happened the first time? A lady passed out, gets out of the glass and gives her some water. So Trump is gonna Trump. That's what we know. Now, the biggest question I have is the Secret Service taking notice to something like Dan Bongino says? Is the Secret Service taking notice to these threats that are apparently out there? I think they will. I think they should. And I think they need to be ready for anything. But I do think Trump is going to show up in Inauguration Day, get sworn in, and make America great again.
Okay. Boom. So, look, regardless of what happens here, I think...
Okay. This is such a weird... So strange. Let's watch one other moment. But imagine having the... No, I'm not going to say that. It's just, this whole dynamic is strange. That's where I'm going to leave it. Let's go forward.
Right now that we're kind of going through. But your thoughts with...
Well, in regard to the security, Pat, why in God's earth would Trump trust an outdoor inauguration with the security run by the same people who have been trying to destroy him for all these years? The Secret Service, the FBI, zero trust. They've dropped the ball how many times? And their trust is at an all-time low, right? And that time, I don't think it's about, tradition, especially with that inauguration. It's about safety, okay? And when let's think about it. Let's take a step back. If God forbid something happens, what happens? You're saying like the people will go crazy. I think these type of globalists, they think so far ahead, Pat, that if something happens to him and we blame Russia did it, or we blame,
Oh yeah. Let's finish on that point because this gets really funky. But first, let me respond to what has been said so far. How do I keep this properly, professionally, and personally vague? I know someone personally that has been on the details for stuff like this, and I thus feel personal offense in some sense when they question the dedication to the job of the people protecting whoever it might be. You can point to security failures like the Butler assassination attempt, and then the golf course one, it felt like it got too close, but that one was stopped by Secret Service. But this idea that all these people want Trump to get hurt, I do find insulting when, even if they have the belief that I do, that Trump is terrible, they still understand the importance of keeping these leaders physically safe and put their life on the line in the interest of that. And there's not some deep state conspiracy to get Trump. The people who tried to, we've learned about who they were, and they weren't connected to some deep state plot or something, but just lunatics. And then if, around here, we're in DC still, and if you're looking at all the preparations, all these preparations, and I would say actually, as opposed to a rally in some random rural area, right, sort of far out and not that many people come to protect, an inauguration's where Trump's going to be very, very safe. They have all the protocol in place. But in a world where the deep state's doing all these things, maybe Vinny's argument makes more sense.
You're saying like the people will go crazy. I think these type of globalists, they think so far ahead, Pat, that if something happens to him and we blame Russia did it, or we blame, Iran. I think at the end of the day, America hasn't been at war since when? The major one. I mean, we left in 2021, the withdrawal from Afghanistan. But I mean, when we went to Iraq, Tom, with all we saw.
So you're not counting proxies.
I'm not talking. No, yeah, exactly. No proxies, major war. I think those.
That's a lot of guys for a podcast. God, I didn't even know that guy was there. Boom, camera shot.
Globalists, the deep state, whoever you want to call them, they're dying for a war. Okay, and our friend Alejandro Mayorkas, I brought.
All right. They're dying for a war. Then why didn't they get us into one when the deep state puppet was in power? But actually, in a way that had a lot of problems, obviously, but got us out of one. It never makes sense. And why are they working so hard to support Ukraine such that we wouldn't have to directly involve with Russia because Ukraine would stop them in their tracks and they want to get to a NATO country if we wanted so badly to directly get into a war with Russia? Sometimes I wish that, you know how hard it is to, you do probably, but to square all of these contradicting interests and complex geopolitical realities, and you're trying to figure it all out, and now you got a whole different region of the world you got to understand how's the history and the regimes there interact. But if you just strip all that away and you just replace it with deep state does bad things, and I can choose what those bad things are in my narrative, saves you a lot of time. It's wrong, but it saves you a lot of time. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.